आप कुछ मत बोलो भाई, you don't get into it. And honestly, why I'm interested in this is because हमारे लिए धंधा का सवाल है. Because we are a political paper, we like people having political opinions, and we find that, I mean, I'm nervous that politics is...
Here I thought that he will talk about all the Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan awards that I have got.
We'll come to that, we'll come to that.
540 films that I have done, but we are still stuck on this topic. We'll continue.
I'll come to that. But
No. I want to answer this.
No, but let's just close this. Why do you, I mean, have you thought about this? Because when you make a film, whether it's Kashmir Files or whether it's Tanvi the Great, how much are you thinking about the audience? How much are you thinking about their political view? Are you trying to change a political perspective? Are you trying to introduce a question? Are you just doing what you want to do?
Because 90% of film people are not necessarily educated in terms of in the field that they should be. When you see a Feroz Khan, you know that he's an educated person in the field that he is. When you see an Anupam Kher, Nasiruddin Shah, Om Puri, we've done 4 years of training. Not necessarily every person you see in cinema are trained.
Yeah.
I was horrified when I went to work in New York. Even a bartender who has just to do this and sort of do this, he's a qualified, trained actor. Over here, there is not such. So when you are such people in the industry, then it takes a little time. Now, after all these years, now there is, because of the corporatization, you see actors, they are going to the school, and that's how I opened the school, etc., etc. But dar lagta, I think. I think people are frightened of consequences. Everybody cannot be Anupam Kher, because I'm not frightened, because bhiga hua aadmi barish se nahi darta. Because another thing that my grandfather... It's also dependent how you want to live your life. I'm okay with some people not liking me. Now, initially when I came to this film industry, I thought it's a beautiful family. I actually thought, because in Shimla, everybody was a family. My father was just a clerk, but one day I went out with him first time, and I saw everybody saying hello to him, Namaste ji, Namaste ji. I said, Dad, you are just a clerk in the forest department. Why is everybody saying hello to you? He said, I invested 1 year of coming here, and that year I did Namaste to everybody. So now they are saying this thing too. So I think that those things are all involved.
So I think I'll move on from this topic by leaving one...
Continue. Maza aa raha hai. Ab to mujhe bhi maza aane laga.
I'll just leave one thought, and I want you to reflect on this when you get some time, is what can we do? What can you do? What can media do? And how should audiences think? How can we be part of creating an environment where disagreeing isn't so difficult?
It's okay to be disagreeing.
But why is it so difficult today is something I wonder about, especially when it comes to a public figure. Why do they get so allergic, and how can we make it less?
Anant, I think that moment you decide that you want to leave your happiness in somebody else's hand, they will make sure that you are not happy. They will make sure. You have to, at the end of it, there are only 6 to 7 to 10 people who are important to you. If you cater to the larger audience, and everybody should love me. Aisa duniya mein koi hua hi nahi. There's not a single person in the world who is only liked by people. One should understand that very well. As I said to you, that I'm very ambitious, I want to do something, but I have come to that it doesn't matter what people think. You're conscious at the end of the day.
Sure.
When a policeman who is frisking me and sort of doing that, and he says quietly to me, "Sir, आपको salute करने का दिल करता है जिस तरह से आप देश के बारे में बात करते हैं," तो मेरा सीना जो है उस समय चौड़ा हो जाता है. Then it doesn't matter to me whether he likes me or that likes me. That's not.
Right.
So I think at the end of it, there are larger things. Also, because of my background, I know that where do we remember Mr. Kishore Kumar today? This whole the need to be great, we don't remember. Lata ji, last year she went, last year. Where do we remember them? Mohammad Rafi. It's not. I'm a part of a journey. At the end of it, I told the other day, my CEO, I said, I don't know, because I'm 70, so I'm thinking about stupid things. I said, when you put my picture when I'm not there, don't put a mala on it. Don't put a garland on it. Let it be like this only, because I've done so many roles in which then I've been putting mala. so don't do that. So I think that is what liberates you, na? The day I decided that I don't want to own a house, I felt such an amazing liberated feeling. I did a play, Kuch Bhi Ho Sakta Hai, with Feroz, where I spoke about my life's failures to the whole world. And we are doing a show in Chicago, an old man came backstage and he says, Anupam ji, kaisa महसूस होता है आपको इस फिल्म, इस प्ले के बारे में बाद? Because इस प्ले में आप अपनी सारी परेशानियां, failures बताते हो. And I told him, I feel the tallest man on earth. When I tell somebody that I'm a 38% marks, I'm bald, and I don't know how to speak English, I went bankrupt in 2004, then you have nothing to frighten me with, because I myself told, it's when I start hiding things, then you have the power of manipulating me. But I won't let you do that. That means not these people.
Correct. And more power to you. We wish there are more people like you who have that conviction and that confidence. Thoda sa, we can talk about film now, since we I saw Tanvi the Great. I managed to get it before the show. I was able to watch it, and I highly recommend it to all of you. I genuinely, I believe it was a very,
It's a film I directed, Tanvi the Great. The response was they have not even heard about it, so which is fantastic. That means the film is not released. Finish your question.
You got unlucky with the release date. It was releasing with another film, which was a complete opposite of in the genre as Tanvi the Great. So tell us about that.
There was one gentleman who clapped and who saw the film. I have a niece who is autistic. Her name is Tanvi. 4 years back, she was 13, now she's 17. We were in my friend's daughter's, my niece's wedding in Delhi in a farmhouse. And people were dancing like what happens in Delhi farmhouse, Gurgaon. We were dancing, drinking, enjoying. And this Tanvi, 13-year-old girl, was And I have enjoyed making that film. 4 years means 1 year of writing and 1 year of music. There are 2 Oscars. And then we released the film.
And you directed it. He directed the
I
film.
directed the film, and I wrote and directed, etc. And they released the film on the same day when YRF Sayara was releasing, and it got completely wiped out. It depressed me. It made me feel very sad. Not only from my side, but the girl was new. I took a new girl and from my acting school, etc. And also 200 people work for it. And then things did not. But
and you had you called your friends to raise financing for the film.
Yeah, because the financier ran away 1 month before. It's a costly film, so he ran away. So I wrote to some friends of mine who are doctors, lawyers, etc. They gave me the money. We did the world premiere at Cannes Film Festival. We went to New York, where Mr. Robert De Niro came and watched the film till interval, and he thought it was very good. We showed the film to President of India. We showed the film because the army it's about an autistic girl who comes from an army family and wants to join army because she realizes that the father could not fulfill a dream that he wanted while being in the army. Now in India, autistic person cannot join army, but I wanted to sort of show how she still wants to do it. So everything was going fine, but the world wanted to see, and rightfully so, to see a love story. Teenage love story had not, or a young love story had not come for a long time. And the system over here is that even if you're releasing the film in 400 theaters, but if some other film is doing very well, they will remove these your film. So it was a failure which was, it was a very heartbreaking for me, which was just 2 months back. But then I am a survivor. I said, क्या हो गया? एक और failure. मैंने तो पूरा play failures पर किया है. तो I'm an eternal optimist. मेरे लिए वो एक बड़ा अच्छा मुहावरा है that nothing is all wrong, even a clock that has stopped running is correct twice a day. I'm that kind of an optimist. So then I thought, okay, we have sent the film to this committee. which decides which Indian film should go to the Oscars. So I was very hopeful that at least this will go. Then this morning, I discovered that some other film is going. So last night, we went out, there was a screening of Tanvi the Great happening, R.K. Swami group of people, they did 2 private screening. And I was very sad because I got to know that our film is not going. So I was sitting across Herman and there was dinner, 8 people were sitting. I said, yaar, मैं बड़ा उदास हूँ, मन मेरा बहुत खट्टा हो गया. और तो he said, कोई बात नहीं, आप ठीक हो जाएगा. This morning when I got up, मैंने बड़ी सारी अंगूठियाँ पहनी थी, हर पंडित के पास एक साल गया था. I still have faith in astrology. My grandfather was a well-known astrologer, but etc. But मैंने भगवान से बड़ा झगड़ा किया this morning. मैं नहीं पहनता, लो अपनी अंगूठियाँ, ये नीलम अपने पास रखो, ये एमरल्ड अपने पास रखो. और फिर मैं जब जाने लगा, मैं फिर वापस मंदिर में गया. मैंने कहा sorry, थोड़ा गुस्सा था मैं. But I think there are so many ways. My first time things have never worked. Sorry, this was just actually scratching. I was thrown out of my first film 10 days before the film was to be shot. So never, my first time has never worked. My first film was Saransh. I was 28 and I was playing a 65-year-old man.
Which, by the way, I want to tell you one thing before, just a small interruption, but the only feedback a consistent feedback I got when I posted on my timeline ki I'm doing this conversation with you, was that your best film.
Exactly.
Is Saransh. And everybody who's watched that says that was the master class in acting.
Yeah.
And you played somebody much older than your age.
I was 28 and I played a 65-year-old person. It was my first film, so I rehearsed for 6 months how to play an old man, how to wear a dhoti, how to sit in the Shivaji Park and see, etc., how to walk. I used to sleep with the walking stick. And we were to start the movie on 1st of January 1984, and on 20th of December, a friend of mine came up to me and he said, I've heard a rumor that Mahesh Bhatt has thrown you out of the film. Mahesh Bhatt was the director of the film. I said, what? He said, yeah, because they have taken Sanjeev Kumar. Sanjeev Kumar at that time was a huge star, a fantastic actor also. So I called up Mr. Mahesh Bhatt and I said, Bhatt Saab, is this true? I thought he is just joking because I've been rehearsing in 10 days. He said, yeah, Anupam, the producers have decided to take a very established actor, but don't worry, you do the other old man's role. That's equally good. I got horrified. So I packed my luggage. I said, I don't want to stay in this city. This city does not deserve me. Because if after working for 6 months, he can throw me out of the film, then what is my future like? As I was going, I again remembered my grandfather used to say, if you want to be equal with anybody, don't expect anything from the other person. I realized that now I don't expect anything from Mr. Mahesh, but now I should go to his house and I should tell him what I think of him. So I stopped the taxi under his house and I walked up and he said, oh, very good, this is the sportsman spirit, you must understand, you see all this thing, etc., etc. He said, and do the other old man's right. And I go, Bhatt Saab, hold on. I went and showed him through his window. He was on the 6th floor. I said, can you see that cab? It has my luggage. I'm leaving this city. But before I leave this city, I want to tell you that you are the biggest fraud on this earth. You are the biggest cheat on this earth. You are making a film about truth, and you don't have the truth in you. For 6 months, you made me rehearse. You made me convince. I have written to my parents, etc., etc., and now you're throwing me out of the film. And I was crying. I was so desperate. And I said, better than you are so many other normal filmmakers. You pretend that you are this artistic director. And as the climax was coming, because you know, when you are angry, you want to come up with the last punchline. So that was not coming to me. Then finally I said, और Bhatt Saab, मैं ब्राह्मण हूँ, मैं आपको श्राप देता हूँ. But I was very desperate. I was crying, and then Bhatt Saab called up the producer and he said, इसने जो अभी scene किया है, only he will do, and rest, as they say, is history. So things first time have never worked for me. They have never worked for me in the first time. So I also believe, again being an optimist, the film did not do well. It will do well. It is when, if you, भाई साहब, कहाँ जा रहे हो आप? ऐसा मत करो, आप बैठो ना. Well, please बैठो. अनुपम खेर आपसे बात कर रहा है. मैंने 40 साल काम किया है फिल्मों में, सर. आप कैसे ऐसा कर सकते? नहीं, मत जाओ प्लीज. थोड़ी देर मुझे भी जाना है. आपको कसम है, मत जाओ प्लीज. No. So नहीं होता कुछ कभी-कभी चीजें नहीं होती हैं जैसे आपके हिसाब से. But the only thing that you don't have to do is to never give up. Giving up is never an option. ऐसा कोई है ही नहीं, ना पेंटर, ना राइटर, ना एक्टर जिसकी जिंदगी में फेलियर नहीं देखा है. It's how you deal with failure that's important.
But you've seen
Sorry, you can go, sir. बहुत जरूरी है. हाँ? नहीं? अच्छा. देखिए अब आपको मैंने एक मौका दे दिया है कि आप बहुत बड़े इंसान होंगे जरूर, I'm sure, बट अब आप अपनी फैमिली को जाके बोलेंगे अनुपम खेर ने मुझे रोक दिया. फिर आपकी फैमिली वाले अपने बच्चों को बोलेंगे कि हमारे दादाजी को देख पर अनुपम खेर ने स्टेज से रोक दिया था. तो ऐसी कहानियां बनती है एक्टर्स के बारे में. जी.
You have but you've seen failure. You've seen a lot of success also. So you also have the conviction now when a failure
I am a
comes to you.
success story of my failures. I'll put it like this. Yeah. I think so. I think failure is multidimensional. It teaches you so much. Success is boring. It's one-dimensional. And I am now not saying it just because I am now at a stage where I made you say that's 90%, 80%, and then I said that smart line to you people. No, I think जिस दिन ये समझ में आ जाएगा ना खेल, I think a most important thing was that I grew up in a joint family of very poor people in terms of financial status. We were very garib. And, but we were very happy. We were 14 of us living in a small room. इससे थोड़ा सा बड़ा होगा. And in fact, I asked my grandfather, I said, I was maybe very small, I said, grandfather, we are very poor, why are we so happy? And he said something fantastic. He said, when somebody is very poor, the cheapest luxury available is happiness. So, I'm very lucky to have been brought up by grandparents. Today's children do not get that fairy tales growing up. My grandmother used to tell me the same story again and again. My Chacha ji was a strange character. So I grew up in an atmosphere where failure does not frighten you. And success does not, आपका दिमाग नहीं खराब करती है.
But I think your family, that kind of dynamic also gives you the confidence.
Yeah.
कि जो भी होगा, ठीक है, family is there, manage.
कितना बुरा हो जाएगा? जब मैं इस city में, I came to the city, I came with 37 rupees in my pocket. Today, I will never be in that stage. This time, though, I'm slightly better off financially because I did that series in America. So I have account in America also. Now it's going to... And you know what is my American company called? Lower Middle Class Corporation. Yeah. I look at life in a very funny manner. I look at life in a very comic situation. I think life is very comical. I meet people with very serious people when they come and say hello, 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 something. I find it very great, comical. A person who takes himself very seriously is very comical. And you can see that very easily. मुझे life comical तरीके से नज़र आती है. मुझे funny तरीके से नज़र आती है. मुझे लगता है कि life is so beautiful. When I got up this morning, भगवान से झगड़ा करने के बाद, I said, wow, means today I'm going to do this espresso. I've been calling up Anant for the last 2 years and telling मेरे साथ अड्डा नहीं कर रहे हो यार, तुम मेरे साथ अड्डा नहीं, तुम सरेक को बुलाते रहते हो और मैसेज भेजते रहते हो. कहा कि नहीं मैंने आपको कहा? I am going to be talking to the cream of Mumbai, South Mumbai, Bombay. You are a happening man. Come on, don't sulk. It's okay, your film will do well after some time. That's why we are releasing it again on 26th of this month.
Wonderful.
So it's okay, कुछ भी हो सकता है.
No, but sorry, but you have to give 30 seconds on this. You're re-releasing the movie.
So I decided that let's do one thing, because मेरे साथ पहली बार कभी चीज़ ठीक नहीं होती है. ऐसा नहीं है कि re-release के बाद शायद super hit हो जाए. I said give it a chance. So on the 26th of this month, we are releasing it in 17 cities, one theater, just one theater. I will tell all of you which that theater is. I'll make sure that you go the next time. There are only not 2 people clapping when I talk about Tanvi the Great. Go and watch it. It's a beautiful film. It's a film about goodness. It's a film about which makes you, because I come from a family which made me believe in goodness. So I wanted to make a film. And ironically, in today's time, goodness comes only from an autistic person. Because all of us are manipulators. All of us manipulate. All of us know how to make other people, con other people, I say the right things. But an autistic person says what she wants to say. So we decided to re-release the film. We are saying it, re-release does not look good. My marketing guy said, he said, let's call In Cinemas Again. I said, okay, In Cinemas Again. So he said, tomorrow is the first poster coming out. I said, okay. So I'll send it to you. Please send it to the same mailing list that you send that.
Done. Done, Ji.
Huh? Promise?
Wonderful. Promise, sir. Done.
Marketing.
No, so this is, you were talking about why you got the confidence in this joint family you lived in, the focus on happiness and all that. And I've had conversations with a lot of people who talk about the strength they've gotten by being brought up with not just a mom and a dad. By being close, whether you live together or whether they're neighbors or whether it's a bada ghar in Punjab, whatever. There's a certain sense of Indianness. A big part of Indianness, was that thing a community is bringing up the child. But do you find somewhere a conflict key today, the cinema we see today, that world is not romanticized at all. In fact, that world is considered bad. It's considered regressive. It's considered,
See, I
somewhere
personally
do you
feel-
find that art and life ka jo reflection hai? Some of these reflections are,
No, I'm not an authority on talking about Indian cinema. I'm part of Indian cinema and I've worked, but I think the Hindi cinema is at a very bankruptcy stage in terms of themes, in terms of storytelling, because they are neither here nor there. And I'm part of those movies. We are lost. We are trying to be cool. All of us trying to be Tarantinos. All of us wants to sort of do this. Look at which was earlier called regional cinema. They are making stories जो ज़मीन से जुड़ी हुई हैं. तो we are in a very confused state of affairs. 90s and 80s were the best. All my films of 80s and 90s, whenever they come on, people say, oh, this is fantastic. Dil Wale Dulhaniya Le Jayenge, Khosla Ka Ghosla, Wednesday, so many kuch hota hai, Shola aur Shabnam, Hasina maan jayegi. Look at the film. They used to entertain you. They used to make you feel good. Today, half the time you're getting stressed. क्या देखें, कैसे देखें? Then you also want to say that मुझे तो पसंद नहीं आई, but साथ वाले सब लोग कह रहे हैं अच्छा बोलना है. तो आप बोलते हो नहीं अच्छी है. It was good यार. It was different. It was good. You see, there was a particular word. उन दिनों trial बहुत होते थे. People used to call you trial, and there sometimes used to get to see atrocious movies. I was part of those atrocious movies. But producer used to stand after the trial. Trial means few days screening, few days before the film is releasing, they call the family and everybody. So the producer says, so how did you like the film? So I coined something which can go this side, or I said, speechless. I am speechless. So आजकल वो नहीं है. I think I'm very pro technology, pro everything, but I think the kind of childhood people had is, there's a beautiful line, I hope I get it right, in one of my first books. In our pursuit to give our children what we did not have, we don't give them what we had. So that is the problem, I'm horrified that I see a 2-year-old child holding the mobile phone and he or she gets pacified only then. I understand that in today's time, husband and wife, both of them have to work because financially it's important. But वो बच्चे को पता ही नहीं है बच्चे की जिंदगी में जो है. हम तो मेरी माँ को, my mother never knew where I was the whole day. My father never knew what was our study. And yet I think I've done a great job with myself, whatever it may be happening. But so when you say that film industry, or when you say, I think you should talk about everybody else.
No, I'm saying the power that the film industry has in its storytelling to romanticize that life that we're all celebrating. I had a conversation with Indira Nooyi.
Yeah, I miss those films. That's why I think maybe it was a good thing that I started doing different kinds of film which make me happy. When I see that, oh, this is what I used to do. I used to really do things. I think the Indian cinema, having said all that, Indian cinema is the greatest cinema. Means today, and I say that so many times, that if an Indian actor is given
Hey, I put together a free strategy session where we'll dive into your restaurant business. During that hour, when you book a call with me, you will get my full attention, and we will chat about your strategies, your business model, your issue that you have in your restaurant. I help a lots of restaurant owner like you. In an hour, you can get a lots of new information. There is no pressure. Even if you decide to don't go forward, at the end of the call, you will get practical idea, a different way to see things. And just book the call, and I'm looking forward to meet you.
यू नो जैसे जब मैं यहाँ आता था, यहाँ पे लिखा था सुरक्षित अंतर ठेवा, आई तुझा आशीर्वाद, फिर वो चेंज हो गया. टू मी कूलनेस इज नॉट about being bad. Coolness is being about good. To me, coolness is being about honest. For me, coolness is being compassionate. To me, coolness is about being kind. And if we teach our children that, then I think we have a great future, whether it's in cinema or in real life.
Wonderful. I'll just push this topic a little bit more because what you said reminded me of one of the most fun conversations I had in all the interviews that I've done in the last 12, 13 years was with Indira Nui, who gave a lot of credit to her grandparents for her success. She says that my tata was the person who taught me, math and whatever. I mean, whatever she gave the details. But she also said that I don't see my children living with me after they get married. And what I'm trying to get at is the power that the film has to communicate that idea as a good idea or a bad idea. More and more you'll see that cinema is kind of just reflecting what audiences want, which is a changing lifestyle and a changing life. And they don't want to, we are moving towards a design of society and of our family, which is a little bit alien to traditionally India. Is that a good or bad thing? That's my bigger question.
I think cinema primarily serves the purpose of getting, you go to see a movie to get entertained. Some people like laughter as entertainment. Some people like to shed tears, and some people get frightened. Some people go to see a horror film. So there's a different parameters for it. But as long as today,
The reason I'm asking you this question is because the films that you have done, that you have taken a lot of personal interest on, has a message beyond entertainment.
Yeah, I think
So you seem to know the power of convincing an audience.
Yeah, no, it's important. I think it's important to. I don't think people go to see a film to get any education or any moral of the film. But if there is in the film, it does make a difference. But not necessarily, nobody makes it. It's an industry. People want to get some movie. There was a time in 80s, there used to be a fight sequence, there used to be a particular villain, there used to be a cabaret. And there used to be, but that formula is gone today. Today you make films because it's just, the economics are completely different today.
Yeah.
We never thought that pehle chalti thi filmein. Rashtriya ka, the people who made the first film with me, their whole system was that they will release the film in one theater and word of mouth will spread. Hum Aapke Hain Kaun did not do well. People thought, what is this Shadi ka video? It's a cult film today. Sholay first 3 weeks did not do well. Today it's a cult film. But I think we need to create writers. The writers are today, the confidence of the Hindi cinema, I think, is a little shaky. Because we have Kantara, we have Pushpa, because they are rooted films.
Yeah.
Look at this, recently Hanuman, that film. I'm not saying that they are coming up. There's a film, Malayalam film called Lokha or Loya. 200 crores, it's made in 10 crores. So Asani, there is no audience for such film. The audience today is educated. The audience does not have only one channel or one thing. There are so many sources of entertainment. There are eateries, there are malls, there are so many. There are phone. Your phone is so difficult to get away from your phone. There is Instagram, there is X, there is so many things. So you need to really make a film, and yet things can go wrong.
Last question before rapid fire. You said phone. When you're acting, as somebody who's taught acting and one of the finest actors India has ever seen.
Keep saying that. I love that.
Do you feel like you have to act differently for a smaller screen than a larger screen?
No. Acting stays the same. I don't think.
How you approach a character?
Sorry?
How you approach a character is the same? Whether you're going to release an OTT first or film first or a big screen first?
No, so what I have done is I have done so much of work that you can easily become competent. because कितना काम किया मेरे को अभी I can do it. ये हाँ बोलो लाइनें, these are the lines. Okay, yeah, I'll say the line. It will still look believable. But I personally believe that competence is the biggest enemy of brilliance. And so I make my job difficult now. I'm doing the same father or I'm uncle or something like that. I'm playing that kind of a character, but I make it difficult because I need to live with that. I'm doing few films. There was a time when I was doing 27 films at the same time. There was a joke with Mr. Javed Khan Sahab, Javed Akhtar Sahab had cracked. He said, you cannot, at those days, you cannot make Hindi film without two things, film raw stock and Anupam Kher. But now I do certain films. I do the same thing and say, how can I make it exciting? So I personally feel that I'm doing my best work now. And also I'm not in a rat race. My father, again, I'm constantly going back to my father and grandfather. Few years back, when my father was alive in 2010, we were going to Mahabaleshwar by car. So he said, you're doing less films now. So I said, yes. So I said, I will say a smart thing to him. So I said, yeah, I'm not in the rat race, Dad. So he looked outside of the window and without turning, he said, oh, you have left the race for the rats. So he was always one step ahead of me. I enjoy the most now. I've been dying to do a play because I feel that it's the most creative thing to do. Because there is no fear of failure now. So I'm at my peak when I say, and lot of people, so I tell everybody, please don't introduce me as veteran, thespian, legend, because that is your way of retiring me. And I'm at least 30 years away from retirement. Don't give me lifetime achievement awards. I don't want lifetime achievement awards. So everybody is not going to give me that. Nobody has the power to decide what I should do. Just because I've done so much work, just because I've turned so and so. When people, this is what I miss. When at the age 93, Clint Eastwood does film, and sort of everybody applauds it. यहाँ कहते बस करना यार कितनी फिल्में करेगा अभी छोड़ देना कितना देख रहे हैं. There was a very famous producer about 10 years back. He said, and it came to me. He said, yeah, let's not make a film with Anupam Kher. He's done so much work, the film will look old. I was horrified when I got to know. I am still surviving and he's nowhere there. So that is the moral of the story.
Oh, wonderful. I want to talk a lot more about audience changes and all that, but I think we should get on to the rapid fire.
Okay.
And rapid fire is, we aren't on television, so you can have fun with it. You don't have to be very quick, you don't have to be very slow, just have some fun with the questions. But the idea is to also kind of get, touch on all aspects of life, society, world, relationships, all that stuff. One thing that scares you about the future?
My future?
No, about
Alzheimer's.
Our future.
My future, I must say, Alzheimer's.
No, not your future. Okay,
I feel
your
that
future. But I'm saying one thing that scares you about the future. As somebody who's very connected to society, who knows about the world, one thing that scares you.
That lack of sensitivity. I think the biggest religion, according to me, is humanity. We should not forget the humanness of part of us. I think that scares me. We are becoming more and more mechanical. Yeah. किसी की तकलीफ देख के आंसू आते ही नहीं है. वो आने चाहिए. तकलीफ होनी चाहिए. किसी की खुशी में शामिल होना चाहिए.
Wonderful. The one change in the film industry that excites you, the one change in the film industry that frightens you.
So we are getting towards professionalism because that's what West has, professionalism. I feel happy that the people come on time, etc. People give you a bound script, but not necessarily a bound script is a great script. I have done out of 540, 500 films were narrated to me. There was no script. There were so many films where the dialogue writer used to write the dialogues at the back of the cigarette packet and you said, इसके बाद ये बोल रहे हो आप सर जी, इसके बाद, and they were fantastic films. But there is some kind of a semblance. One thing that frightens me about it, one thing I love about working abroad is the professionalism. And one thing I miss abroad is the warmth that we share on the sets over here. I hope that warmth does not go away. It's on the verge of going away. We are becoming like that, where people have these walkie-talkies and they talk to all the talent walking in, etc., etc. Or the holding area, hey, holding area, talent is coming, talent is not coming, Anupam Kher is coming, Mr. Bachchan is coming. मतलब what is this? So वो ये हम सीखते हैं फजूल की बात वहाँ से. उनके नेचर में ऐसा है वहाँ पर जब वो कहते हैं. हम तो there was a very famous podcaster recently. He said, "Can you tell me?"
So you have to say the name. I mean, there's no otherwise. How do we guess?
नहीं अभी सबको पता है उसका नाम छोड़ दो पर. अच्छा अगला question.
No, okay, finish the story.
No, what I mean to say that वो warmth खत्म नहीं होनी चाहिए किसी हमारे हिंदुस्तान में मैं बॉम्बे से बाहर या इंडिया से बाहर ज़्यादा दिन रह ही नहीं सकता हूँ. मुझे लगता है कि अरे यार मिले गले लगे हमारे सेट पे जो है सब पूछते हैं और कैसे. हमारे को स्पॉट बॉय का भी नाम होता है. तेरे अरे पिताजी का क्या हुआ, क्या पिछली बार उनकी टांग टूट गई थी, अभी ठीक है? हाँ जी अभी ठीक है. और तेरे क्या हाल है? ये there is a certain warmth when you shoot on the sets over here. I hope that warmth does not go with this whole talent is walking. Because today's assistants have no relationship. Today's the assistants that are, they're young boys and girls, very talented. I have great faith in them, but less emotions. Okay. And because today's assistantship has become a profession, you may not, earlier assistants were wanting to be directors.
Correct.
But today assistantship is a profession in itself. So that's...
Just tell us what happened in this podcast thing. Because while walking up, I was told there was an episode. So this whole podcast experience where you're promoting Tanvi, what happened exactly?
No, so this gentleman asked me, and he said, Mr. Kher, you are a motivational speaker, you write books about life. What do you want to change about myself? And he was looking genuine. So I said, I came to your office. You are a very genuine person, but your office outside, there were 20 people. I walked out of the elevator and they pretended as if they don't know me. So I think they were given instructions that we don't care who is coming, you just sound professional. So they kept doing that. And then this gentleman came and he said, please come and sit down over here. And so I was finding it very strange because those people, their grandparents, parents, they have seen my movies. They should all say, oh, Anupam ji, Anupam ji. Why were they behaving so stupidly? And why didn't you come out to receive me? It is not an importance problem. But you should have said that, okay, I'm doing a... So he said, that's a good point. And then when he made the podcast, he removed that whole suggestion of mine. So I thought it was a little ironic. So whenever I see him now talking with compassion, I said, what a fake man he is. So I just feel that way.
And you got upset with somebody who didn't watch your film before interviewing you for that.
Is that why you watched the film today? No. No, I think it was my fault in that, I must admit that. Because he was, my team had told me that, they had not told me that they informed him last night, okay, I'm free to do the thing. So, and he's asking me about cinema, he's asking me about that. I said, but have you watched my film? He says, no. So then I said, then you have no right to do this interview with me. Okay. But in this thing, it was my fault. I should have, they should have told me in advance.
Okay, wonderful.
I apologized to him at the end of the thing.
Okay, lovely. The one...
मेरे पास इतना time नहीं है of niceties. I don't have so much time.
Correct.
If I love you, I will tell you something nice about you. Or if I don't, I will tell you something about that also. Correct. I don't have the patience to sort of pretend.
Correct.
People who pretend don't like themselves. I like myself. People who pretend, that's why they want to be somebody else. Yes, move on.
Okay, the one film you liked or admired this year besides Tanvi the Great?
Oh, मैंने ज़्यादा फिल्में देखी नहीं है, but कौन सी मुझे याद नहीं. मैंने shows देखे हैं बहुत ज़्यादा, बाहर के shows देखे हैं. I recently saw The Studio. It was very good.
The Apple TV one.
The Apple TV.
Fantastic.
Fantastic. I recently saw an amazing documentary, Hunting Down Osama bin Laden, on Netflix. Yeah. Oh my God, the last 10 minutes are left. It's so amazing.
Realistic, very realistic. Yeah. Okay, the last film whose success you were surprised by?
Sayyara. Even Adi Chopra must have been surprised that this will not. Yeah. Everybody was surprised. But, theek hai. Thank God that Adi and Yashji are part of my family. I grew up and in cinema with them. Yeah. Aur koi hota to bahut takleef hoti.
Okay, so your advice to that couple, the new couple who have come out in Sayyara, what is your advice? If you were to advise them as actors, what should their next steps be?
I am sure they already have millions of advisors right now. Right now, everybody, they already must be having 7 managers, one this thing, one that thing. I will be the last person to, they will say, teri to picture chali nahi, tu humko kya advice de raha? But I will like to say that for a long innings, they must go slow. Because in today's time, the actors of today are, I feel very bad for them. Because if I have survived these last 40 years, thanks to my training, proper training, but also people were forgiving. In today's time, people are not forgiving. One wrong mistake and they go for them. So it's sad. Okay. And they have to prove every single film, they have to prove that they are happening. Okay. And failure is going to happen. It will be part of life, but don't get worried about it. Yeah.
Okay. So if the if Saransh's Kher met Dilwale Dulhania's Kher, what would they say to each other?
That's a good one. If Saransh's Anupam Kher met Dilwale Dulhania Le Jayenge, I see my younger self in you. Saransh's old man will tell Dilwale Dulhania. Yeah.
Okay, wonderful. The one role everyone praises, but you secretly wish you never did.
Oh, there are plenty of such roles. Plenty of such roles. I got almost ruined once. There was a film called Nigahein. इनमें से आधे से ज़्यादा लोगों को कुछ पता नहीं. तो there was this film.
ये South Bombay है जी.
नहीं. निगाहें सिवाय मेरे और किसी ने. निगाहें, there was this film called Nigahein, which was a sequel to Nagina. Nagina was that सांप वाली film, जिसमें श्रीदेवी सांप बन जाती. तू मेरा ना, something like that. So the sequel was given to me, but in the previous thing, Amrish ji dies. Amrish ji's character dies. So when they came to me, Harmesh Malhotra, I said, I will do this role so well that people will forget who Amrish Puri was. In the sense that it was a challenge. So I did all the scenes I did with so much energy. And when I was dubbing the film, I said, this is not the way I should have done it. There's so much I'm shouting, so much I'm doing. Very harsh to myself. I have done a great performance. Why will you send me a blue label with this thing? So I told Kiran, I said, we will see the trial, the screening of the film. And I was shooting with Rekha ji. And I told Rekha ji, मेरी एक film लग रही है निगाहें, तो आप ही से मैं थोड़ी देर के लिए आऊँगी. And I told Yash Chopra and Pam Chopra, I said, please come for this film. So we won. Usually Kiran walks with me, and at least those days, with hand in hand like this, na couple जैसे चलते हैं. So she sat down next to me. Rekha ji was there, Yash ji and Pam Chopra were there, and 2-3 more people. The film started. My first scene, horrible. Kiran suddenly removed her arm from my arm. And Pam started doing. Pam is Yash ji's wife. Or I'm sitting here, Rekha ji is sitting in front, and suddenly I saw her body doing. So, second scene, Kiran stepped away from my chair and sat on the other chair. I said, don't be so stupid, just relax, it's okay, maybe. And I'm thinking, oh God. And then third scene when it happened, Rekha ji said, I have to go. She left. Now there are 5 people left, Yash Chopra ji, Pam Chopra ji, Kiran sitting in the corner. And when fourth scene started, I am wishing, हे भगवान, भूचाल आ जाए, सांप आ जाए इस सेट में, ऑपरेटर को हार्ट अटैक पड़ जाए, तो यश जी कहते यार एक कम कर देने, बंद कर देने फिल्म. So there are some films. No, I think that I have a rough idea about, after that fiasco, I have a rough idea what I have done well, I have not done well. People are kind. People used to be kinder at that time. They used to say, because they got entertained, they will say to a mediocre performance also. Now they're very sharp because they get to see Netflix, Amazon, they get to see great performances. Especially what happened during COVID, everybody watched everything.
Correct.
And that's how the Malayalam cinema, the Telugu cinema, the Tamil cinema, they watched those movies also. So they suddenly realized that pan-India has also brilliant actors.
Yeah.
And so it's very difficult to fool them now.
You mentioned, I'll ask you the opposite question. You once mentioned, researching for this, that you were unhappy Mr. Mogambo role you didn't get, went to Amrish
I
Puri.
was thrown out.
Went to Amrish Puri.
Yeah.
Do you think you would have done a better job?
No, never. Because the interpretation of Shekhar Kapoor, earlier the interpretation when I was doing that role was a different kind of an interpretation, that he's much more flexible, he's much more conniving, he's not like that. But when I saw the film, I felt that it was a better decision that they made. Yeah.
Okay.
And also I was very fond of Amrish Puri ji.
Yeah.
Do you know that the trivia, that four main villains come from Shimla? Pran Saab, Amrish ji, Prem Chopra, and I also used to do villains role sometimes. We're all from Shimla.
That's why I didn't know that. That's so I have a pending visit there, so I'll keep that in mind. Okay, last rapid fire. Which director contributed more to your career, Yash Chopra or Subhash Ghai?
Mahesh Bhatt.
Mahesh Bhatt.
Mahesh Bhatt, sir. He gave me my first break after that fight that I had, and Subhash Ghai, because Mahesh Bhatt made me a known name, but the stardom came to me through Subhash Ghai's karma, Dr. Dang. Yeah, that was he, because suddenly I was opposite against these four, Mr. Dilip Kumar first of all, and then there was, in my play about Mahesh Bhatt, I say a beautiful line, which goes something like this. In a battlefield of Kurukshetra, if I am the questioning Arjun, Mahesh Bhatt is my Krishna. And today is his birthday.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Is it easier or more difficult for intelligent film to get mass appeal, box office success today than it was earlier?
I don't think intelligence has anything to do with the audience. It is dil ki cheez dil ko lagti hai.
Okay.
You can't make a film, you can't make a great film. You can't decide, I am now going to make a great film. It will never work. I'll give you a very interesting example. When Titanic became the biggest blockbuster, so American producers thought Titanic is against a disaster, they made a love story. So let's pick up a bigger disaster. So they picked up Pearl Harbor.
Uh-huh.
The Pearl Harbor was a bigger disaster, but the film was a disaster also.
Yeah.
So I think cinema has a lot, thank God the cinema has a lot to do with heart, not with craft. Even acting has a lot to do with heart, and if the craft can be camouflaged. I think now I have seen 2-3 people suppressing their yawns.
Yeah, getting hungry
because it's one gentleman forgot that I can see, so first he did this. And then he did, and finally he said, to hell with it. बस करो, हमें माफ करो. माफ करते हैं भाई साहब.
Okay, we'll take a few questions and we'll take them together. So I know we're holding.
नहीं, अच्छा मुझे कोई जल्दी नहीं है. मैं तो मेरे लिए तो चलता जा सकता है, but.
Okay, let's get a show of hands. How many questions are? And I'm going to put a few people on the spot also.
Before my question, 2 comments. First, I cannot believe that you didn't know how to speak English. You speak better than all of us combined, I think. Your English is outstanding.
Thank you.
Secondly, compliments. I've seen virtually all his addas. Today was perhaps the most entertaining of the hundreds he's had. Thank you, Anant, and thank you.
Thank you so
Anupam
much.
ji.
That's very kind of you. Thank you.
A simple question. Today they're making movies out of famous political stars, sportsmen. For example, there's a movie on Indira Gandhi, on MS Dhoni, recently on Chandu Champion. Just few that I can remember. If, and I'm not saying you're retired, but if they were to make a biopic about Anupam Kher, which actor would you choose to play the role of Anupam?
You see, I have started my career as an old man, and now I've actually reached that age. So there is no better than me who will play the biopic of Anupam Kher. मुझे किसी ने फिल्मों में मुझे किसी ने जवान देखा ही नहीं है. I started as an old man, and now when I was 28, to me the perception of a 65-year-old man was the character that I portrayed. But I don't look like that man, the one who was in the film. But maybe for a younger portion, I will get somebody with hair. I had hair at that time. But thank you for
The films he mentioned.
I was in the first two, both MS Dhoni and also in Emergency. I played Jayaprakash Narayanji. Yeah.
The Emergency, the movie, did you?
I thought it was very well made. I thought she was fantastic in the film. But these days, there is a section of people who, before the film gets released, they start calling it a propaganda film and this. But गए ना हम लोग अभी उसमें भी काफी चीजें हो गई हैं. Yeah.
Yes.
Anupam ji, thanks a ton. Always a pleasure to listen to you. A very simple question. You know, you have a persona of an entertainer, but there would be certain inner vulnerabilities which, even despite your extrovert self, you might not want to reconcile with, or you have not brought it to the open. Is that something you would like to discuss?
एक बहुत अच्छा गाने की एक बहुत अच्छी लाइन है कि जहाँ में ऐसा कौन है कि जिसको गम मिला नहीं, अभी ना जाओ छोड़ के दिल अभी भरा नहीं. I don't eat alone. I have never eaten alone. मेरे जितने भी होटल के दोस्त बने हैं वो इसलिए बने हैं बिकॉज जिन भी होटल में रहता था मैं या तो जनरल मैनेजर को या लॉबी मैनेजर को कहता था मेरे साथ खाओ. Somebody asked me if you wanted to change anything about your life, what it could have been. I would have loved to spend more time with my father. Like I spend a lot of time with my mother now. I spend a lot of time with my mother. I go and meet her, I talk to her. But my father was a great man and a great father. And I would have loved to stay. I would have loved to have a child of my own. Not that Sikandar is not a great child or a great this thing. Sometimes I feel that maybe seeing somebody grow up would have been an interesting thing to do that. Yeah.
Good evening, sir. My name is Parv Khimawat and I come from this organization known as IIMUN. It's a youth-run organization. Sir, my question to you is that as youth, we want सब कुछ हमको ऑन स्पॉट चाहिए, हमको सक्सेस ऑन स्पॉट चाहिए और हमको रिजल्ट ऑन स्पॉट चाहिए. बट एज आई वांट टू बिल्ड अ करियर इन बिजनेस, पता है कि बहुत कुछ करना है और बहुत सारी अनसर्टनिटीज आएगी. सो व्हाट वुड बी योर एडवाइस एज यू टोल्ड, लाइक एज यू राइटली मेंशन्ड कि आपको कभी भी कुछ भी फर्स्ट गो में नहीं मिला. सो व्हाट वुड बी योर एडवाइस टू यूथ सेइंग दैट कि कीप लाइक बी काम एंड यू विल गेट योर थिंग्स डन.
Just remember what my father told me, failure is an event, never a person. As long as you keep trying it, and also you, लोग कहते हैं ना किसी के पद चिन्हों पे चलना चाहिए, you should walk on the, no, I think you should make your own path. जो आदमी जिस उस पे चलता है उस पे तो कोई चल चुका है ना. And don't give up. I'm not in a qualified situation to sort of give you an advice, but I think make your own life. The fact that you have been raising hand is not necessarily that you wanted to ask this question. You basically wanted to be noticed. And happily I'm saying that.
I wanted to ask this question firstly because I personally draw inspiration from you because...
पिताजी से पूछा कभी ये सवाल? ऐसे ही पूछ रहा हूँ, I'm just curious.
पापा से डिस्कस किया है, बट पापा ने हमेशा बोला है कि you will figure it out, don't worry.
Same. जब पिताजी बोलते हैं तो लगता है what kind of a father is he? जब सामने वाला बोलता है you will figure it out. That's the beauty of life. I figured it out.
Thank you so much, sir.
It's a good title for a book. You will figure it out. Yes.
The lady in front, please.
Hello, sir. First off, it's an honor to be able to ask you this question. And usually I don't ask, but you know, after hearing you saying it again and again that you shouldn't care what people think about you, so I'm just gonna ask. So, sir, I'm a doctor, and I loved watching, like my mom and I, we loved New Amsterdam. We binged it completely. So we in fact loved you more than the protagonist Max. Like we found him a bit annoying, but we loved you.
Thank
So-
you so much.
So
Even
my
I
que-
loved myself more than him.
So my question is, how did you prepare for a role like that? Because there are a lot of words that are difficult to pronounce, and the seriousness that comes with the show. So do you have an on-set neurologist or a doctor who guides you how to behave in a way? And if there is, then how do you get that job? Because I would love to do that.
So it was an offer. Usually you do an audition, but they had an offer to me because of my work that there was an Indian doctor to be of my age, so they said that we will give you. My only condition was that the shooting has to be in New York, because in America, the New York is the only city that I can really think. I went back to my first year of drama school to prepare for that role. I used to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, because in a series, you do 7 to 8 scenes in a day. And it is not that you are, like in movies, that you remember the scene that you are going to do and then you have a break of 3 hours. So there was some words which I used to think about it and I used to say how to go about it, but it trained me. And it also gave me a new perspective of how to make this film. So Tanvi the Great came from, because it prepared me. So I used to get up at 4 in the morning, then I used to walk up and down and learn my lines. I used to sit in my vanity van and keep doing that. There is no alternate to hard work. That's the only way. And also when I work abroad, I must say that sports people get officially, they get an opportunity to represent their country. Cricket team, hockey team, gymnastic team, etc., etc. Actors don't get official this thing. When I work abroad, my focus is much more. And you will think I'm being dramatic, but before every shot, when I'm giving abroad, I say in my mind, Bharat Mata ki jai. Seriously. Because I have to do my best. Otherwise, how will in a conversation, somebody will stand up and sort of say, I liked you more than the protagonist. It was because I was representing my country. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I have to ask you one question, rapid fire style. The last time you disagreed with something Modi did?
I think he's a great leader. I think you know and I know. Let's not. Disagreement तो हमारे पिताजी से भी होता है मेरा.
Correct.
है ना? Disagreement तो दोस्तों से भी होता है. Disagreement तो सबसे होता है. But disagreement doesn't mean that disrespect आपके अंदर आ जाती है. मेरे बहुत सारी चीजें मैं अपने father से झगड़ा करता हूँ. But अगर मेरे father का intention सही है, I go by the intention of the person.
Correct.
And I think that is very important.
Was there any time you felt like, I mean, intentions aside, but galti ho gayi, he could have done something better, differently?
I feel protective towards him.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know how to put it. I feel that इतने सारे दुश्मन हैं, फिर भी वो लगे हुए हैं देश के लिए काम करने में. इतने तो लगे हुए हैं, लगे रहते हैं. क्या क्या बोलते हैं दुनिया में उनके बारे में? क्या क्या बोलते हैं? And on that note, I want also say that we need to have a very strong opposition. We don't have a very strong opposition. Yeah. If we have a very strong opposition, my mother is a great admirer of Modi ji.
So is mine, so you can bond on that.
अनन्या ने पहली बार ताली मारी आज पूरे इवेंट में. नहीं, I'm just joking. Yes, अभी फिरोज के पास आ गया कुछ सवाल पूछने के लिए. फिरोज जी, but thank you for saying wonderful things. Thank you. You're a medical doctor. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, with due respect, there is a lot that you've asked him about politics and so on and so forth. But let me tell you one thing, that you have to understand that you are in company of perhaps one of the finest actors this country has produced, and he's perhaps one of the finest living actors we have in this country. So it's very important to understand is that this actor has done from sublime to ridiculous, and he has made sublime extremely memorable and made ridiculous believable. That kind of skill as an actor, very few have. Either you have actors who have a context at which they perform, or they have actors who just are completely ridiculous. But this man traverses all that. So his craft is impeccable. He is truly one of the finest actors. And the best thing about him is, I have met him only twice in my life in terms of starting to work with him. And when he was at the top of his game, he came to me and said, I want to reinvent myself. I want to get back to theater. I want to feel the failure. I want to feel the pain of failure or the possibility of failure, because it is only with the possibility of failure can you invent yourself. You cannot do otherwise. And then he came to me when he was in the worst condition. His film had flopped as a director. He had done a terrible job as Kaun Banega 100 Pati, 100 Pati, pata nahi kya kya tha usma. He was just at the most difficult phase in his life. And he came to me and said, Firoz, I have nowhere to go. And I felt the greatest joy working with him only at the top and where the low. And because he will, and that's why I gave a tagline to that play, that he will do anything to succeed, even fail. That's all I have to say.
Wonderful.
तुमने हमें सत्यानाश कर दिया ना. इतनी तारीफ तो तुमने मेरी कभी भी नहीं की है. रुलाया तुमने मेरे को.
But you put your heart, you wear your heart on your sleeve, and as a good actor, you put it on for the audience.
You want a
Get blockbuster deals on smartphones. Amazon Great Indian Festival. Live now.
you feel.
Wonderful. Puneet?
अब ये इतना इमोशनल हो गया तो एक थोड़ा लाइटर नोट पे बोलना चाहिए. See, we had an event. It was a launch of his book, Your Best Days Today. And he spoke so many things about his father very passionately this evening. That evening, he also narrated an incident where his father said कि यहाँ पे टाटा बिरला समझ रखे आपने आपको, तो कहाँ से होगा ये सब कुछ, कहाँ से आएगा? You remember that? Then then he said, देखिए वक्त की बात है, आज मैं टाटा के होटल में बैठा हूँ और मिसेस बिरला मेरा इंटरव्यू ले रही हैं.
Yeah. My mother and my father used to say, अपने आप को क्या मांगता, तू पैसे मांगता, ये मांगता, तब टाटा बिरला का समझा हुआ है. तो मैंने देखिए कमाल की बात है कि मैं इनके होटल में बैठा हूँ और मिसेस बिरला मेरा इंटरव्यू कर रही है. तो that was, yeah, I think it's beautiful. It's beautiful to be alive. It's beautiful to be able to, I don't get scared of emoting. I think it's so wonderful. That gives you, it's been a great. अब ये इसको आखिरी रखते हैं बस हो.
I honestly, I think after Feroz, what he said, I don't know how to top that and end that.
Yeah, I think so. That's okay.
Yeah, Anupam ji, that we are. It's such a pleasure to be sitting and sharing a stage with you because, as a kid, not only that TV show, but even all the movies, the way, as Feroz said, you were able to sell the ridiculous. And we loved it. The Hasina Maan Jayegi, that whole genre, the Govinda films.
I think the fear of not being ridiculous is making us so mechanical. We should be able to be ridiculous. Absolutely. Why to take life so seriously? It's so wonderful to be stupid sometimes, to be called this thing. But I think it's wonderful life. The fact that we are sitting here, the fact that I have a sense of wonder about life. Even today. जब मुझे ये स्वीट दिया इन्होंने आज, ये भी बड़ी चीज़ है पुनीत जी. He is so large-hearted person, I must say that to him. And Feroz, you ruined me. I was holding back for all this time, but thank you. I don't know how to say go about it. But anyway, तो मैं अभी भी जाता हूँ. अब मैं दुनिया के बेस्ट होटल्स में रह चुका हूँ. मैं दुनिया की बेस्ट सब चीज़ें मैं देख चुका हूँ. But इनकी डिटेलिंग, इनको पता है कि ये मुझे अंदर जाके इनका प्यार उस स्वीट में नजर आता है. So I think there are people have so much of goodness in themselves. I'm pointing out people because I've dealt with him so many times. I've dealt with Feroz so many times. I've dealt with you. I've dealt with Ananya. I've dealt with so many people so many times. I see the goodness in people first. Then if the person goes on and on and on, sort of, then I detach myself. But I never sort of start not liking the person. I think there is so much of goodness around, and it's so liberating to be yourself. The people who people don't like themselves. I love myself.
Wonderful.
And that's what the beauty is.
Thank you so much. More power to you, and I hope we have more people from your industry, I'm calling it, being as authentic as you are.
अब बड़ा मुश्किल होगा आगे वाले गेस्ट के लिए.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. God bless you all. Thank you.